I am very pleased to see my good friend, State Representative Sarah Peake. Thank you so much for joining us at the 2012 Jefferson-Jackson Dinner.
Thanks. It's such a pleasure and so much fun to be here again this year, and I look forward to our annual interviews also.
Absolutely. And it couldn't be held on a better day than not only the Jefferson-Jackson Dinner, but also Cinco de Mayo.
That's right, exactly.
We enjoy that. Now, you've actually enjoyed a very favorable year because you've been able to accomplish quite a bit for the district. Can you tell us a little bit about some of them?
Sure. Well, during this session, which includes this year, I've been the House Chair of the Joint Committee on Tourism, Arts, and Cultural Development. And the House, just a little over a week ago, we enacted our budget, and there were some success stories for both the cultural sector and the tourism sector of our economy. On the tourism side of things, we managed to increase funding from $4 million that it originally was in the House budget up to $6 million, so a $2 million increase for our regional tourism councils, which includes the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce. I work very closely with Wendy Northcross and all the good folks over there, and they're really the boots-on-the-ground kind of organizations that help drive tourists to the various regions around the state. The second bright spot inside the budget, as it helps us and our economy here on the Cape, is for the first time in many years we were able to reverse the trend to defund the Massachusetts Cultural Council and increase their funding. So we added about another $450,000 to their budget. This is money that they invest in the Adams Grant programs, in after-school programs, artists in residency programs. What I have come to see is the money that we invest in Mass Cultural Council as a state, that they in turn through a competitive grant program sprinkle around our communities. It's like they're sprinkling Miracle Grow for our economy and for the arts sector. You just see it grow and bloom, and whether that's in small little communities like Wellfleet or big large cities like Pittsfield or Springfield or Boston, they work wonders all around the Commonwealth.
Well, and those investments in the arts and in tourism, they really do lead to a growth in the economic atmosphere in general, don't they?
That's right, absolutely. And as business increases, we saw that this year in the tourism sector. We saw that room nights increased, the number of people eating out in restaurants increased, and the good news for that is, from a state budget perspective, we invest small amounts of money that returns income to the state 5- and 10-fold, so that in turn gives us greater tools to help support some of the important safety net programs for our elders. We increased money in the budget for public education, coming to cities and towns, and for regional transportation, school transportation, and a lot of that money was generated through the tourism sector and through the cultural sector of our economy because of the very wise investments we've made.
And that's very good news for us here on Cape Cod, where tourism is such a lifeblood. Of course, the other lifeblood of the Cape Cod economy is our fishing, and I know you've had an awful lot of success there recently. Can you tell us a lot about that?
Sure. I just got off a plane this afternoon, as a matter of fact, coming back from Washington, D.C. I sit on the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission, which is a council with representatives from Maine to Florida making decisions about fishing in nearshore waters. The bright spot was for the dogfish, which is like a small little coastal shark, fairly important fishery for us here on Cape Cod. We increased the quota of dogfish to 35.6 million pounds. It's about a 5.6 million pound increase over what it was last year, which means more fish for the fishermen to catch. And the good news about this is we're always telling our fishermen, gee, we see that the stock of, let's say, cod or other ground fish has decreased. You need to cut back how much you can fish. Well, we did that with dogfish a number of years ago, and we've seen it rebound exponentially. And now, as somebody who sits on this regulatory board, it's so great to be able to say, the fish have come back, we are giving you more fish to catch. You know, we're so often in the business of taking away fish, but it's critical that we give fish back when that's appropriate based on the scientific data. So that should help folks a little bit anyway in this upcoming season. Interesting market for dogfish, mostly an Asian market. and over in Europe as well.
I understand it's quite the staple amongst the British for their fish and chips.
That is what it has become. You know, it used to be codfish, but there's so few cod left, the price is too high. But yeah, they skin them and fillet them and cook them up for fish and chips.
Yeah, well, I'll have to look into that when I can get an opportunity to have some.
That's right.
And I'll have to do that down in Provincetown when I'm visiting you. So,
good.
Anything you'd like to close with that you've been seeing in Provincetown or the Lower Cape that you'd like to talk about?
I think all around the Cape, and certainly on the Lower and Outer Cape, you see people are waking up from the winter. The tourists are coming back. You see restaurants and motels and hotels opening up. And as somebody who has a bed and breakfast myself, looking forward to the upcoming season, looking forward to what we're going to do during the rest of the legislative season as well. Equally important to help our small businesses here on the Cape, we're going to do some important legislation getting our arms around the high cost of health insurance and rein that in, because that is crippling growth in so many ways. So we're going to be doing health insurance reform and a number of other important things between now and July 31st.
Well, we're going to need some important leadership on those issues, and we thank you for all of that you've given us over the years and continue to give us. So thank you very much for everything you've done for us.
You are welcome. It is my pleasure and honor to serve. Thank you.
Thank you.